In this video, I'll install a WordPress website on Redhat Enterprise Server. And the first thing I'm going to start doing is to create a new user called Jenna. To do that, I'm going to use the command user add. Now, by listing the contents of the home directory, we can see the users that are available in the home directory, and Jenna here is available. Now, in order for Jenna to become a sudoer, I should add Jenna to a group called Wheel as a supplementary group for sure. And to check if Jenna was added, I can either use groups. Okay, and the groups here are Jenna and Wheel, or its ID. Okay. Now to add a password for the user, I'll use passwd. Okay. I'll quickly switch to the user Jenna. Okay, so now I'm Jenna. Now to install WordPress, we have to install the Apache server, PHP, HTTPD, MariaDB, and to do that, we have to use the yum command, which installs them. So at first, I'm going to start with MariaDB. Okay, and the following will be HTTPD. It's complete. Now let me clear. Here is HTTPD. It's complete. And here is PHP. And here is MySQL. Now, MySQL is important because in order to create WordPress, a WordPress file, website, we need to create the web database, okay? So SQL, we're going to use MySQL to create this database later. And for sure, it's important to install the firewall. And after finishing all the installations, I'm going to start every service. So I'll use systemctl start, followed by the name of the service. Okay, now Maria. Then the firewall. And finally, the PHP. Now then, I'll have to enable each one. And then the firewall. Let me clear. And finally enable PHP. Okay, now I want to open the firewall for HTTP and HTTPS. To do that, I'll use the following commands. And then quickly reload the firewall. Okay, now to configure the Apache web server to start at each system boot, we'll have to first switch to the root user and enable the HTTPD. Now when we enable it, as you can see here, the system is going to create a symbolic link that's inside the boot folder. So at each system boot, the Apache web server will get configured, okay? And we can check the status using this command, and as we can see here, Apache is active and running. Okay, let me clear again. Okay, now to add the user Jenna to the Apache group, let's first check if the Apache group exists. And to do that, we can display some of the lines of the etc group file, which contains all the groups in the system. And as you can see over here, Apache is a group. So here now we can add Jenna to the Apache group using user mod and for sure as a supplementary group. Now I used AGA to append just to avoid user mod to delete all the supplementary groups that Jenna is already a part of, such as wheel. So it's important to use add. Now, as you can see here, Jenna is part of Apache now. I'm going to quickly switch to Jenna. And to configure the WordPress services, we'll need to install the WordPress files. Now, how will we install them? Let me first open HTML, enter it actually, and to install these files that we need for WordPress, I'm going to use curl, okay? Now here, curl, it's going to install the files from this website, okay? And put them in this file. Now, as you can see here from the listing, the file here is a compressed file because it has tar. And in order to unzip it, we have to run this command. And when we list here, you can see that there's a file called WordPress that is created now. So WordPress is actually the one that is unzipped. And now the zipped file, we no longer need it, so I'll quickly just delete it. Okay. Now to change the permissions var www for write permissions for the owning user and the group, we'll do the following. I'll switch to the root user, and I'll be using chown, chown. Actually, no, I want to first change the ownership, the group ownership. So I'm going to use chown. Now I want to change the group ownership of var www to the Apache group. So here it is. And once we run this, which is listing, we can see here that var is now owned by the Apache group. Now we can change the permissions of var www to the permissions that we want, which is write for the group and for the user, which are in this case the root and Apache. Okay, now I want to check the permissions. As we can see here, the owner, the user, and the group have writing permissions. And right now I'm just going to quickly restart the HTTPD. Started HTTPD. We'll install a WordPress website on Redhat server. So to do that, we have to create a database for the WordPress using MySQL. Okay, so I'm going to run this command, which is MySQL secure installation. Okay, and here I'm gonna say yes. We're gonna answer yes to everything except for one question, which is this allow root login remotely. We say no. Remove, yes. Yes. And that's it. Okay. Let me clear the screen. Okay. Now to use, okay, so to use MariaDB to create a database. Now I opened it. We're in the monitor of MariaDB. I'll write this line of code, which is create database, which I called my database. And then I quickly just quit the monitor. Okay. Bye. Great. Now I'll switch to the root user, and I'll go back to HTML, var www HTML, and I'm going to list the contents of HTML. As you can see here, there's WordPress. I want to enter it, so I'll do this, and I want to see the list, the content of WordPress. So here you can see that there's a file called wg-config-sample.php. This file is a configuration file. Now, in this file, I can set the database name, the username that's going to be used for the database, and the password as well. To do that, I'm just going to quickly create a copy of this file. Let me clear the page. Here it is. And it's going to be called WP config. Okay? Now then, I'm going to enter the file using the editor V, and we'll edit it. To edit, press I. Okay. So here, the name of the database for WordPress, as I said, its name is My Database. Okay. Next is MySQL database username, and I want to name the username root. Great. And finally is the password, which I will put as the numbers from 1 to 6. Okay, that's great. Now I want to save the file and quit. Great. Now I want to go back to HTML. I want to enter it. And we'll use this command. And shun over here, or shikon, it's a command that changes the security context of WordPress. We're just going to quickly run it. And now we'll go to the web browser to open WordPress website. Now, as you can see here, I'm using this instance. So this is my IP. And I'll add this. Over here. Okay, so I copy pasted my IP and /WordPress. Okay, here the website has opened, the WordPress website. So the site title, I'm just gonna insert my database, username as root, and password as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, confirm password, and here's my email. Discourage search engines. Okay, install WordPress. So now the website has opened and I logged in. And now I can insert my email and my password and log in successfully to WordPress. Thank you so much. That was the video of how to create a website for WordPress on Redhat server. Thank you.